Hey guys, so today I am jumping my 4-year-old off the track thoroughbred for the first time, obviously very exciting. So I've owned her for a little bit less than a month and we've just been really focusing on our flat work and our dressage work and just getting a really solid flat work basis. So here I'm starting my warm-up. What I always do with all of my horses before every ride is just a lot of shoulder in. This really loosens them up and just really gets them soft and supple. So I do shoulder in both directions on a 15-meter circle just to really help them get the bend. And then I transition into doing a shoulder in with an outside bend on a 15-meter circle. I don't actually know if there's a proper name for it, but that's pretty much what it is. So you're going, here I'm going to the left, but I have a right bend and a right kind of like shoulder in, but it's not like a full shoulder in because you want to be careful that their knees don't hit each other because they can definitely do that during this exercise. I do this for a little bit and then I start my trot work. So for our warm-up at the trot, we do a lot of changing of the bend to help her keeping her rib cage nice and supple, and then I do a little bit of shoulder in at the trot too, which I don't actually have on video. But yeah, I also trot her over lots of trot poles because I just changed the trot poles. I just painted all of them, so they look very new and very different. She has done lots of trot poles, lots of raised trot poles, lots of canter poles, but they just changed, so I wanted to make sure she knew what they looked like. And I just do lots of circles, lots of serpentines, just keep it interesting for them while they get their muscles warmed up. And then there's this long line of trot poles that was just left over from another day of riding, so I brought her over those. And then after I stopped and backed her up. I really like doing this because it helps teach horses not to rush out of fences, or in this case, poles. I didn't get the transition on video, unfortunately, but her transition was fairly nice. It's really improved. And the overall quality of her canter has really improved. I don't know if you remember other videos, if you've seen other videos of me, but her canter has really improved. She used to not be able to stretch down like this, and she used to be very high-headed, intense, and fast at the canter, but she's gained so much balance. She can actually canter over a pole nicely now, which she definitely couldn't do before. And here I do a little simple lead change. Yeah, I'm just really proud of the way her canter feels. She does definitely still get tense sometimes, but overall she's just much softer and way more balanced, and it's just really a pleasure to ride her these days. And she kind of bunny hops over that, but it's okay. It's just nice to let the young horses make their own mistakes and kind of figure out where their legs are by themselves. So I brought her over another one and then she did that one nicely. But yeah, like I said, she's just a real pleasure to ride. She's really soft and is really learning how to relax. So here I really try to use the transition, do the transition with my seat and my voice, and she really listens well. So I give her a big pat for that. And then here she's going over her very first cross rail. It's really uneventful. She's pretty sure it's just a raised trotting pole, which it really pretty much is. But I give her a big pat anyways because she was nice and brave and didn't really look twice at it. And then here I'm like, what the heck, I'll just go over the vertical and bring her up to the vertical. And she doesn't really know how to lift her legs, which is fair enough. I kind of expect them to either do that or over jump, and she definitely just knocked it down. Again, she just kind of bunny hops over it. She can't really figure out. Here my sister and I are laughing because we're like, well, she's not a jumper yet. Anyways, I bring her back over the poles, and it's just all about letting her figure out where her feet are today. And then I decide to canter her up to the crossrail one last time. She gives it a nice little half-hearted jump, so I give her a big pat and big reward for that because she didn't really exactly know what I was asking, so I really want to reward her when she does what I want. So after I walked her around for a bit and gave her a bit of a break, I trotted her back up to this cross rail. And this time I was really happy with her because she tried a bit harder on it and she kind of gave it a jump as opposed to just stepping over it. And then I trotted her back up to the vertical. And again, this time I was pretty happy with her because she gave it a much nicer jump. I don't know why I lost my stirrup, but I did. It's fine. So this day, I'm just really worried about her being confident and positive. I'm not concerned about her form over jumps or my positioning or if we have the perfect stride. I just want it to be a really positive experience and for her to be really confident after today. She gives out a really nice jump, so I give her a big pat and let her have a break. She gave me a really good feeling over that jump, so I was pretty happy with it. So I gave her a little break, let her walk out and bring her energy down. Also thought I'd mention I'm filming this with a baby chick. That's that sound, if you're wondering what that is. I have a baby chick in my hands. It's very cute. I love it. Anyways, so now I go ahead and bring her down her first line at a trot. She was really good over that orange jump because I don't think she'd seen it yet. And then over this little red jump, I give her a kiss so she canters over it. So then I made the really stupid decision of coming into this jump on the counter canter. This was my first time cantering her over a fence, I believe, and it was really stupid of me to bring her up in the counter canter. I don't really know what I was thinking. We do school the counter canter a lot, so I guess I just thought she'd be fine, but it was a pretty bad decision. And then here I go in the correct lead, but she's a little bit worked up about that fence, and she's just a bit worried about it. I was kind of annoyed at myself here. I was like, why did I try to do that? Anyways, got the canter back, got the right lead canter, came in nice and positive and forward, and then she pops over it really nicely. I was super proud of her. In the end, it was actually a really good training moment for her to be worried about something and be a bit confused, but then in the end, get over it and be really confident. So in the end, it worked out well, but I was annoyed at myself, but it's fine. Everybody makes mistakes. Here, I decided to canter her down her first line. She's super brave, super positive. I was really happy with that. And then we go around to this red fence, which she had never seen before. So I brought her back to a trot because I learned from my mistakes. And she popped right over that. I was really proud. She was super confident and didn't even think twice about it, even though it was a new fence. And then I bring her back into the canter, do a little simple lead change, and we go over the yellow fence again, and this time she really gives it a nice jump. So I ride her straight down the line and then stop her and back her up, just so she knows that we don't always turn after fences, but sometimes we just go straight. Something that I think is really important when training young horses to jump is not always giving them a perfect stride to every fence. So Maeve obviously doesn't have the utmost collection and extension at the canter. She doesn't really know a lot about that yet. So what I do is I just try to keep her at a nice rhythmic canter or trot, whatever I'm bringing her up to the fence in. And then I just kind of let her figure her own feet out. The jumps are so tiny, like she can literally just step over them. They are so small. So I'm not worried about her getting a bad distance. I really want her just to learn to take jumps from anywhere and be brave. So there I get really long to the fence, but I'm super happy that she just figures out her legs and jumps over it properly, as opposed to like bunny hopping or anything. So yeah, I really think that's important. So I thought that I'd mention that. Like here, I noticed she was getting a little bit excited to fences, so I just brought her back and I tried to get a really nice cadence in our canter again. As you can see, we get that here. And then this fence, she jumps really nicely. So if your horse is in the correct balance, if the fences are this small, you don't have to worry as much about your distance because they'll just figure it out. And it's really good for them to learn. So here I try this line again. She canters down it, and then I get really deep to that fence, so she knocks it, but like I just mentioned, it's really good for her to figure that out. She gets quite wiggly right before that fence, so it's a bit of an awkward jump, but I'm happy at least she went over it and didn't run out or get worried about it. So now coming down to yellow fence again, she again gets a bit wiggly and swaps her front end. So I bring her back to the trot, I do a simple lead change to get on the right lead, and then I head down the line. She jumps really nicely for me over that little red cross rail, which I think at this point is a vertical actually, and then jumps really nicely down the whole line. So I gave her a big pat for that. And then I wanted to bring her down the yellow jump again to try to fix our last time. And she jumps fairly nicely. I have to check her pretty hard there so we don't literally crash through the jump. But it was really nice of her to really pay attention to me and listen to my cue. I was pretty happy with that. But I decided to come down it one more time just to give her a really nice last jump. We get a nice rhythm here and she feels really responsive, and then she jumps super well over that last one. She felt great. So I give her a big pat and then I trot her out and let her stretch her head down, which she really loves to do. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed watching Maeve's first jump school. I know I was really, really happy with her, and I'm really excited to see this little lady's future. She's a really phenomenal horse to ride, and I just love having her around the barn. If you liked this video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you want to see more from me and Maeve and Tulip. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Bye!